What's up, YouTube? It's
Brittany,
Isha,
Fuchsia,
and you're watching Brown Skin Sisters.
Alright, so in today's video, hi guys!
Hi!
We have not been here for a while.
Yeah.
I've been bugging them, but they don't listen.
Yeah,
life hit you.
Yeah, we just haven't been interested in doing reaction videos.
Yeah.
And throughout that time, we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do. But here we are yet again doing reaction videos. In today's video, we are going to be reacting to older, what is it?
It's like 1950s.
1950s.
Commercials.
These are commercials from the 1950s.
It's technically put you in the genre of like gender roles, what a woman is supposed to do, but it's coming from back then. So we're going to be reacting to these videos. If you guys like this, be sure to subscribe, share, like, and comment. And thank y'all so much because we are almost up to 300 subscribers.
Yay.
We are still getting subscribers even though we have not been
uploading.
Well, luckily we had all those videos already there.
Yeah, luckily. So they was able to catch up.
Y'all had some binging to do.
We got like 41 videos so far on our channel.
So we are looking to continue to come back to you guys and uploading. So anyway, let's get to it.
No, Betty, that's wrong. Let me show you again. You use this control to get your focus, you see? All right, and this one here in the right-hand corner to lock the sweep. There we are. Now let's try it again.
Oh, there's someone here to see you. Are you Mr. Bradshaw, the foreman?
Yes.
Mr. Donnelly up in personnel said for me to give you this card. I'm your new bearings inspector.
Oh? Oh, well, now, I'll be with you in just a minute. No, one at a time. Well, I'll be back later to go over this with you, Betty. Just in the meantime, do the best you can. Would you follow me, please?
Sure.
Just have a seat here. I'll be back shortly.
Well, Mr. Bradshaw, what's on your mind?
Bearings inspector.
She's a good one, too. Just look at that record.
Okay, now, Walt, you've had your little joke. Give her to somebody else. I ask for a man.
We don't have a man with her qualifications. Seriously, Brad, if you treat her right, she might make you a darn good employee.
What do you mean, treat her right?
Get that chip off your shoulder. What's wrong with her?
She's a woman, isn't she?
Now, wait a minute. You got a lot of women in your department. What's wrong with one more?
Did you ever hear of the straw that broke the camel's back?
They're good workers. Accurate, quick to catch mistakes, a lot of patience.
Yeah, but that comes out of books. I work with them, mister. I know what happens.
What does happen?
Well, it's a long story.
Come on now, tell me. What does happen? Maybe I've been misinformed.
Not so long ago, you sent me a girl by the name of Myrtle Malloy. Remember?
I remember.
As per her qualifications, I assigned her to an inspection bench. Well, in a matter of days, that bench looked more like her dressing table. And then came the day when... Joe, will you take your stuff back to table 9? That'll be your bench for the time being.
Okay, Chief.
Myrtle, we're moving you to table number 10.
Is something wrong, Mr. Bradshaw?
No, nothing's wrong. We just need this space for something else.
Well, I sure hate to give it up. It's been a nice place to work. The light's good here, and it's nicely situated right in the middle of things. I just began to feel at home.
Well, I'm sorry, Myrtle, but table 10 will have to be your work area for the time being.
You mean there's liable to be another change?
There's always that possibility.
Well, I certainly hope I'm not moved every other day.
With man, no trouble at all. Tell him what you want and he does it. But with Myrtle, a little move is a big production.
Okay.
Now, wait a minute. You asked me, now let me tell you. Now, here's another problem.
Mr. Bradshaw, I wanted to tell you that the date is set for my marriage. I'll be leaving soon.
Marriage? Mm-hmm. I thought you just got engaged.
Well, I told you about it 6 months ago. We were only waiting till we could find a place to live.
6 months ago? Oh, brother. Well, how soon are you leaving?
Well, the end of next week.
Well, that'll really put us in a bind around here. It takes time to break in a relief, girl.
Yes, I know it does. I wondered.
Why didn't you say something? I didn't realize you were getting married right away.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Bradshaw, but I really thought you knew. We've all been talking about it.
Okay, Brad, but how many blushing brides do you have? Besides, what's all this got to do with Dolly, the new girl? She's already married. And she's a qualified bearings inspector.
You know what I was doing when this new girl came in a few minutes ago?
No.
I was trying to cope with one of the biggest problems of all, Walt. Now, in your books, it comes under the general heading of absenteeism among women employees. Yesterday, I spent an hour and a half teaching one of our girls what she needed to know in order to start on the oscilloscope today. This morning, she isn't here, so I had to use somebody else. I don't think the girl we got on it now ever pick it up, so I'll probably have to find somebody else.
Question. All these things you've been talking about, marriage, absenteeism, personality problems, aren't they really just a part of life?
Part of a woman's life, maybe. But I can remember the good old days when there were all men in my department, and we didn't have these problems.
You didn't have the production output you've got now either. Look, Brad, you've got a new bearings inspector who happens to be a woman. You need someone, and there isn't a man available. It seems to me that whether the gal adds up to trouble or not is pretty much up to you.
Alright, so does anybody want to talk about how they feel about the video? Is it the same as what it is now in 2023?
I feel like a lot of men want to roll back the clock, and they want women to be the way it was, you know, before we could actually work in places that weren't, like, I know teachers, receptionists, assistant, those are typical women jobs, the ones that were the easiest for us to get when we started working. But once we started reaching higher, like doctor, lawyer, scientist, all that good stuff, you know, the really intelligent stuff. Not to knock the teacher, assistant, or receptionist, because they do good work too. You know, without them, their boss would really be scrambled. But they just really want the servant/slave. They want women to go back to being that. And it's like, no. For some women that works. And if that works for you, do you. But for women like me who want more, they value education, they value those high-paying jobs, let them do that. Like, I understand if you want to be married, you want kids, good for you. But if they also want to work, let them work. Or whatever else they want to do. As long as they're not hurting anybody, I don't see nothing wrong with them reaching for more.
I agree. I think nowadays is the problem is they're thinking too much of what it used to be in the past, that women were not questioning anything, or they was just sitting there and just taking everything the man was giving to them. And I think that's the problem nowadays, that you need to look at the big picture and think of this is now. This is not the past, what happened in the past. This is the future now. You know, nowadays women are more independent now. Some women don't really need men to do this and this and that. There are more women who are out there who are trying to get, you know, education. They're trying to get that good income, you know, 6 figures or whatever like that, start their own businesses. Right. And I feel like men have a problem with that. And this is also a big problem in our black community when it comes to us coming together as a whole and being able to, you know, make changes that will improve the black community and actually uplift our black people. Nobody can ever come together, and it's always going to be opinions and disagreements, and then that's when the problems start, you know? So, I mean, I feel like if we just wake up and get with the program and everybody come together, you know, you have your opinion, I have mine. okay, that's fine. You feel that way. I feel this way, and then leave it at that, and then work together. And then we should be fine. But yeah.
When I think of the bigger picture, I think if women wasn't held back from the beginning, then we
would have been farther.
Yeah, we would have been further
yeah.
than what we are. So, and not to mention, I do believe that some men were married to very smart women.
Yeah.
That unfortunately, their only title or job was to be the housewife. So they wasn't able to go out and live whatever dream that they had because they were told. Which to me, I would consider that to be brainwashing.
It is.
They were brainwashed to want those type of things, or not necessarily just want those type of things, but not being able to get them, and they have to sit on the sidelines and let the man lead in that sense. Which, yeah, that's fine. It's okay for men to lead if that's the life that you want to live. If you feel comfortable with that. And you feel comfortable being at home, being the housewife, cooking and cleaning. I am not bashing women for that at all.
Right.
Because I understand.
If that's for you, that's for you.
Yeah.
You.
Like, not every woman wants to have kids. Work. And not every woman wants to have kids, wants to be married. And I think now, we're living in a time where it becomes, or it seems like women are opting out because we just don't want it.
Yeah.
But that's not true. Like, some of us really do want it.
Right.
But we are in a conundrum of choosing between career or a family. And as you can see in the video, the man was like, well, I'm used to working with only men. And I can't wait. I wish it was back to the times where it was just only men working here. But she's smart enough to be in that place. But here he is complaining about her getting married as if men don't get married. Right. As if they don't go on honeymoons. Exactly. As if they don't have kids and things like that. But it's always brought up for women to bury that type of
And another thing that comes with this is also accountability. That's another thing when it comes to the roles of men and women and being able to work together. Everybody has to have accountability for what they do, whether it's let's say you got into an argument with your spouse or your significant other or whatever. I mean, you as a couple has to come together and figure out, hey, okay, I did this, you did that, and okay, I'll work on this, you work on that, and then resolve it. But I mean, another thing is, again, accountability. Everybody, if we all as a community come up and take accountability for our actions and stuff like that, then that will also be another helpful.
And I also think, like, gender roles, they are important.
They are, yeah.
Like, if you want to, just be stay-at-home mom, cooking, clean, and that makes you feel fulfilled, then great. But if a part of you is like, this is not what, and trust and believe, most of those women back in those days probably did not want to be just housewives and cooking and cleaning and taking care of kids. They probably wanted to have their own ventures, but they wasn't allowed to do so. So they opted to just be the housewife and have kids. Women have ambitions as well too, and they had it then and they got it now. That has never changed for us. And I also think, like, when I think of those women, I think they were smart, but I think even if they did create something, it was given to a man. So the man can be the one to be like, yeah, I did this. And the women don't get credit for making a lot of stuff back then because, again, it was technically a man's world where the man is the one that shows leadership and opportunities as far as jobs, careers, all the types of making money, and women are meant to always sit in the back line and be pretty, as a sense, is what I mean.
I want to add to that too. So let's when you look at the historical context of this, like, think before the women's suffrage movement. Think when women, they needed a man back then because they couldn't own property, they couldn't get a job, and they couldn't even get their own inheritance. They needed a man in the household to receive that inheritance. The inheritance instantly went to him.
So it's more of a survival.
Yes,
exactly.
They needed them for survival. Yeah. But after the women's suffrage movement, when they got the right to vote, when they got the right to own property, when they got the right to work outside of the home, when they got all of those rights that were instantly given to a man, it was like, okay, I don't need you anymore. I got ambitions. I got to go out there and get this. And of course, some women stayed with the old ways. They said, "Nah, I don't really need all that. I'm okay with motherhood
Right.
and
that's okay.
and
That's
marriage."
okay.
And
But don't expect everybody to have that same opinion.
If that's for you, that's for you. That's not for me.
Right.
I realized
Yeah.
growing up that I was brainwashed into thinking that marriage, having a man, and having kids was awesome. Yeah, let's do it. Education's
Right.
there, but whatever. That's what I was brainwashed into thinking. But as I got older, I realized I didn't really want those things. That's what I was told that I wanted.
Right. Yeah.
So now that we're waking up and we're realizing we want more, it's okay to want more. I don't care what y'all say, whether you from the old days or not. Time keeps changing.
Right.
Things keep going from one thing to the next. You need to learn how to adapt. Okay.
Evolve, adapt. Yeah.
And I also think, like, I just wish that women and men would just come to a point where, yeah, this is how I feel about it as a man, this is how I feel about it as a woman, but we need to let all that other stuff go, all that
Right.
negative
Well, you think
emotion and anger towards, well,
taking
you know,
it
you wanted
personal.
to a man bashing a woman, well, you need to do this and you need to do that, and then a woman said, well, you need to do this and do that. Like like right now, that should cease. We should get past this. I feel like we have not gotten past this.
No.
We have not gotten past the bickering and the angeriness and being upset, and that's the problem. That's why we're not able to move forward, especially as a black community.
my
because
gosh,
we are
yeah.
black women.
It is bad. It is
But
terrible.
it's like-
in the black community.
Can we all just agree to disagree and
Yeah.
then just come together
Yeah.
and decide to move
Exactly.
forward instead of this bickering back and forth? No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. You need to take accountability.
Yeah.
You need to take accountability. It's
Yeah.
just
It's a
overwhelming.
bullshit
It's annoying.
conversation.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
like there's so many other things that we can be doing as a community, things that we can be building as a
And-
community, but we spend too much time worrying about gender roles.
I'm
Right.
Too
glad
much
you
time
said that.
worrying about this. Too much time. Well, you know, so and so cheating on
Yeah.
this girl.
Right.
So and so cheating on this.
Exactly.
It, like, these things happen. Yeah, they happen.
Yeah.
But it should become a point of time where we be like, okay, it's time to move past this conversation and do better, do more, talk more. Like,
Right.
we can't even sit in a room too long
Yeah.
with black men
Right.
without being yelled at,
Attacked.
being angry,
Belittled.
Being blamed.
and don't
Yeah.
being
like
blamed.
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Like
And don't get me
that-
wrong, yes, there are
It's
some of
terrible.
us that sometimes we do need to chill sometimes. I understand that.
I'm one of
Everybody has their own thoughts, their own opinions, but the problem is that people are so hung
Anxious
up
to
on
be right.
trying to win the
argument.
argument
Mhm.
that there is nothing being solved. There
Nope.
is nobody coming to
Nope.
conclusion that, okay, what you feel is right and what I feel is right, or what you feel is wrong or what I feel is wrong.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
we know that. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And see,
Like-
that's what sickens and angers me at the same time about our community.
Mhm.
Every other community, Asian, white, Jewish, and Italian, they have they have an infrastructure. They have money, income coming in that they're generating for themselves. For the Asian community, it's obvious. It's the nails and the hair. For the white community, they go all across the board. It's
Yeah, they do.
entertainment, groceries, clothes. They go all across the board. For the Italian, again, obvious, the food, their restaurants. They all have an infrastructure that's generating wealth, generational wealth that's being passed down from one generation to the next. For the black, we do have entertainment, but I feel like we should have more than that. I've seen plenty of people from the past and from present day that are super smart, that are in science, economics, math, all that. So it's like, well, we need to come together. We need to organize, and we need to do grocery stores. We need to do what is it? We need to do the manufacturing, but when I say manufacturing, I mean like finance too. We need to do finance. We need to do accounting business for example. Real estate, yes.
come on
Real estate.
now.
We know somebody who's in real estate. He's a black guy. I'm so proud of him for that. But anyways, we'll talk about that later. But we need those kind of businesses. I'm sick of just seeing us in entertainment. That comes naturally to us. Let's do things that don't come naturally to us. And that's something else that I'm working on with myself. I'm going into accounting, but it's not just, oh, hey, look at the black accounting. Yeah, what up? It's not just that. It's also because I love accounting, and I'm like, no, I need to know about finances. I need to know if something goes wrong, that I can fix it. Because that's another thing that a lot of black people don't have, financial literacy. We
Exactly.
need that.
Yeah.
We need everything.
We don't need to be spending all this money on Jordans and any other name brand things when they're never giving back to us. I've never heard any of them doing any foundations for black people to help us out for poor POC and also poor white, because they're there too. There's more of them, so yeah, they're the majority. But I'm just saying, with this, I'm sick of all these excuses. There is a clear solution, and to every problem, there's a solution. So instead of arguing and bickering like what BJ said, we need to come together and we need to fix this. It's ridiculous that the problems that past generations deal with, we're still dealing with. Like racism, like discrimination, and police brutality, mass incarceration. Why are we still dealing with the same problems of our ancestors? Why? Yeah. Why haven't this been fixed?
Because we too busy worrying about the stuff that's not important.
Right.
Exactly. Let go of the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, stop it.
One more thing, and then we can do the second video. But the main thing, with the black community, one thing the black men and black women have, the two things they have against them that really should be the reason why we come together in the first place, that and a lot more other reasons. But the main two things that are against us is what? Well, black women. We're women and we're black. Men, they're black and they're men. I mean, that's the main two things that keep us, that should be having us come together in the first place.
Gender and race.
Exactly. That's the two things that we all have against us. So, I mean, I don't understand all this other stuff that we talking about when it comes to all that, gender roles and this and that, what you're not doing and all that. It just needs to be squashed.